Hello everyone, this is Mr. Mahmud here, helping you do better in maths by giving you tips and tricks on how to revise and going through maths revision on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing and don't forget to press that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload my next video. Now, I've got a very important message for you and a request. Now, one of my students has challenged me to a competition, and he said whoever gets the 1,000 subscribers first will win the competition. So he has made a video on it, so I'll link that video in the description, so please do check it out when you get some free time. So I have 640 subscribers as of now, so I need 260 more subscribers. So if you come across this video and if you think my videos helped you in any way, then please do hit that subscribe button and help me get to 1,000 subscribers before my student. So let's get on with it. This is a predicted paper taken from Maths Genie. It is for paper 3 and it is based on the 2019 GCSE Maths exams. Now, these predicted topics are chosen by Maths Genie and those topics that did not appear in paper 1 and 2. Now, to get the most out of this video, I would suggest that you have a go at this paper first by yourself and then go through the video and then mark your answers and make any corrections as required. And I'll link the website in the description below so we can get the paper from and print it out and have a go at the questions. So let's get started with these questions. Now I'm going to start from the back of the paper, so I believe that some students prefer to start with the harder questions first. So let's start with question number 28. Now we have a triangle and it's asking us to find the length of DE, and we can see it's a similar shape question. Now when you get a question like this, it's always good to split the shapes in two parts. So we have a bigger triangle which is A, B and C. So let's draw two triangles. Just zoom in here a little bit. So A, B, E is a bigger triangle. Sorry, A, B, C. And the smaller triangle is here, which is this one here, which is D, E, C. Now, it's always good to write down the measurements. So BC, for this bigger triangle, BC is going to be 6 at 3, which is 9 centimeters. And then AB is 7.5, as we can see from the diagram. And that's it, that's all the lengths are given for the big triangle. And the smaller triangle DEC, we just have this length here, which is 3 centimeters, which is EC. So EC is 3 centimeters. Now what we need to do is find the length of DE, which is this length here. This length here for the smaller triangle. So we need to find what this is. Okay, now before you find this, what we need to do is, first of all, we need to find the scale factor. And how do you find the scale factor? Now you choose a side on the bigger triangle, for example, and we've got 9, and have a look at the small triangle, and do we have the corresponding side given? If we have been given this corresponding side, then what we can do is we can divide the bigger triangle side by the smallest triangle side, and that will give us the scale factor. So what we can do is divide 9 by 3, that gives us 3 centimeters. Now because it's asking us to find this DE, the corresponding side is AB given, so what we can do is we can divide 7.5 by the scale factor. The reason we were dividing, because we're going from the big triangle and we're trying to find the smaller triangle side. If you're finding the big triangle missing side, then you just multiply the smaller triangle corresponding side by the scale factor, and that will give you that length. Okay, so let's pull out the calculator. So 7.5. So 7.5 divided by 3, and that gives an answer of 5/2. I change it to decimal, 2.5. So answer is 2.5 centimeters. So 2.5 centimeters, and that's worth 2 marks. Let's have a look at the next question. B, find the length of DC. So we're finding the length of DC, this length here. So this length here, find the length of DC. Now in order to find this length, let's have a look. Do we have the corresponding side available in the bigger triangle? No, it is not available. So what can we do? Now we know that we already found what DE is. DE was 2.5. Now we can just find it using, have a guess? Yes, you're right, Pythagoras, because it's a right angle triangle and we've got 2 sides given. So according to Pythagoras, we know the shorter 2 sides squared. So 2.5 squared added to 3 squared, and the square root the whole answer, and that will give us the longest length, the hypotenuse. So let's type this all in our calculator. So first, square root first, try to do the calculation in one go, saves you a lot of time. So 2.5 square root 2.5 squared added to 3 squared, and press the equal button, change it to decimal. That gives us 3.9051. So that gives us 3.9051, and answer needs to be in 1 decimal place. So let's write the answer into 1 decimal place. So 1 decimal, 1 number after the decimal. Look at the number after the line. There is it's 4 or less, so we don't need to add 1 to that. So that'd be 3.9 centimeters, and that's worth 3 marks. Okay, let's go to question number 27. Oh, by the way, do not forget to press that like button if you think you're liking this video so far, and I'll try to upload the higher version as well, so make sure you keep up to date with the videos. Now, question 27, n squared minus 49. Now we can see it's a square number, 49. So we can clearly see it's going to be a difference of 2 squared. So we need to factorize it first using the rule of difference of 2 squared. So we know n squared. So let's change 49 into a square number. So n squared minus 7 squared equals 0. Now we have difference of 2 squared. Now we know that we can write a difference of 2 squared. We can write it as a positive and a negative. So we can write n plus 7 times by n minus 7 equal to 0. And all we have to do is solve it now. We've got 2, we can make 2 equations out of this. We can say n plus 7, let's do it here. We can say n plus 7 equal to 0, or n minus 7 equal to 0. Let's solve it now. Minus 7 from both sides. That gives us n equals minus 7. And add 7 on both sides. That gives us n is equal to 7. So our solution, n is equal to 7, or n is equal to minus 7. And that's our answer, and that's worth 2 marks. So when you see a square and you see a number, just check whether it's a square number or not. If it is, then you can use this rule here, difference of 2 squares. Next, we have question number 26. Liquid A has a density of 1.2 grams. Let's just underline the important information. 150 centimeters cubed of liquid A is mixed with some of liquid B to make liquid C. So we're mixing A and B together to get liquid C. Liquid C has a mass of 210 grams and the density of 1.12 grams per centimeters cubed. Find the density of liquid B. Okay, so first of all, let's go look at liquid A, and we need to find the mass of liquid A, because we got the density and the volume of liquid A, so we can find the mass. Now before you do this, always write down the formula. If you're not sure, I always use this triangle and it helps me remember. So always mass on top. If you forget which one's on top, mass on top, and then density and volume at the bottom. So mass will be for liquid A, you know, mass is equal to density times by volume. Let's reduce my ink a little bit because it's a bit too big. I won't have enough space to write everything. And then mass equals, we have density 1.2 grams per centimeters cubed, and then volume is 150, and that will give us an answer of 1.2 times by 150, and that gives an answer of 180. So 180, and the unit is in grams because it's in grams per centimeter cubed, the density, 180 grams. Now let's find liquid C. So liquid C, let's find out so what we've been given for liquid C. So we can see we've got the mass and density. So mass and density given, so we work out the volume. So volume, we know formula is mass divided by density. So mass is on top, density at the bottom. And let's work this out. So mass of liquid C is 210, and the density is 1.12 grams per centimeters cubed. So 210 divided by 1.12. So 210 divided by 1.12, and that gives an answer of 187.5. 187.5, because its volume is going to be centimeters cubed. Now let's work out what liquid B has now. Find the density of liquid B. Now we know that liquid A is mixed with some of the liquid B to make the liquid C. Liquid C has a mass, so we worked that out, used that information already. Now let's work out liquid B mass. So liquid B mass is going to be, so we're going to be the difference, so mass in C and the mass of A. So mass of C is 210 and mass of A we found out is 180. So 210 take away 180 grams, which is 30 grams. If you're not sure, use a calculator. And the volume is going to be 187.5 centimeters cubed, and take away 150 centimeters cubed of A. So find the difference again. So be 187.5 take away 150, and that gives us an answer of, oh, that was 187 there, but I'll type it again. 187.5 minus 150, and that gives us an answer of 37.5. So 37.5 centimeters cubed. Now for liquid B, we have a mass and we have a volume given. So all we need to do is find the density of liquid B. So we got two of them, so we need to find out what the density is. So we know density is equal to mass divided by volume. So what we can do is, we know the mass is 30, so we're going to do 30 divided by the volume is 37.5, and type that in your calculator. So we've got 37.5 in the calculator already, so to save you time, just divide the answer by no, it has to be the other way around. So let's clear it. 30 divided by 37.5, and that will give us an answer of 0.8. So the answer is 0.8 grams per centimeter cube. So just write your answer and the final answer line given here. So be 0.8 grams per centimeters cube. Well, we don't need to write the units because the units are already given there. So that's worth 3 marks. I think that's a lot of work for a 3-mark question. But anyway, I think it's a really good question. And I think, I'm not saying it's going to come up, but I've got a good feeling that this type of question will come up in your Paper 3 GCSE Maths Edexcel Paper Foundation, and as well as higher paper as well. So if you're doing higher, these questions are applicable to you as well. Question 25. 2 regular polygons P and Q have a common side as shown in the diagram. So you got polygon Q, polygon P, and polygon P has n sides and polygon Q has twice as many sides as polygon P. So let's label those. So polygon P has n sides, so polygon Pn. Polygon Q has twice as many sides as polygon P, so twice as many as polygon P. the cube has. Now, it's always good to write these information down around the shape or annotate the shapes so that you can see what is going on. So you can look and have a look at the shape and see what you need to do next, what the next steps you need to take. Now find the size of angle x in terms of n. So we need to find out what this angle size is. Now we know that because it's an exterior angle, we know the exterior angle rule is 360 divided by the number of sides. Now for exterior angle P, we're going to have 360 and the number of sides is n, so 360 divided by n, so that's for P. And for Q, we have again exterior angle 360 divided by 2n this time, because it has twice as number of sides as polygon P, so be divided by 2n. Now what we can do is we can form an equation. So we can say x, the both exterior angles, x will be these two exterior angles together for the both shapes because it's in between the two shapes. So we can say 360, x is equal to 360 divided by n added to 360 divided by 2n. So the both exterior angles together is x. Now all we have to do is solve this equation now. So we can simplify this part here to make the numbers a little easier. So where 2 goes into 360, 180. So we have x is equal to 360 divided by n plus 180 divided by n. And we can see we got a common denominator. So what we can do is we can add these two numbers together. So denominator is n, so just add 360 to 180, and that gives us 540. So we've got 540 over n, and it's asking us to find the size of angle x in terms of n, and we found the answer in terms of n, and we got n in our answer. So that's our answer. If you're not sure about the formula of exterior interior angles, please do check it out because that's another good question that possibly could come up in your paper 3 GCSE Maths Edexcel Foundation and Higher exam. Number 24. Last year, Patrick paid £2,534 for his annual train ticket. This year, he has to pay £2,612 for his annual train ticket. Work out the percentage increase in the cost of his train ticket. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures, and it's worth 3 marks. Now we clearly see it's a percentage change question. It's asking us to find the percentage increase. So with the formula is going to be the change, so actual change divided by the original amount. So let's write the formula here. So actual change divided by the original amount that it was before the increase or decrease, and then times it by 100, and that will give us the percentage change. Okay, so let's write down what the actual change was. So we need to find the difference between the two prices. So let's write down 2,612 take away 2,534 divided by the original amount. What was the price before? So Patrick paid for his annual train ticket last year, so that was the original amount because that was the last year's amount, 2,534. So divided by 2,534. If you're not sure which amount it is, double check, look at the wordings, because this one says this year, this one says last year. So the last year is the original amount, times it by 100. And let's get a calculator. Clear the memory all the time so that you're not calculating with the answers in the memory. So 2,612 take away 2,534, that equals to 78. Divide the answer by 2,534 by the original amount, and then times it by 100, and that gives an answer of, change the fraction into decimal, and that gives us an answer of 3.0781 3.078137. Up to here is fine, 3, 7. Now, because it's asking us to round it to 3 significant figures, I did not round it straight away, because if you try to round it straight away, you could possibly make mistakes. So write the answer first and then round it to 3 significant figures. So let's round it to 3 significant figures. We've got 1 significant, 2, 3. Draw the line after the third significant figure. Look at the number after the line. Is it 5 or over? Yes, it is 5 or over. So we're going to add 1 to this number here. So the answer will be 3.08%. So our final answer is 3.08%. So that was question 24. Let's go to question 23. Now, each year, Rose buys an annual ticket for his train journey to work. The price of Rose's ticket increased by 2% in 2017 and 3% in 2018. The ticket cost $2,534 in 2018. What was the price of the ticket in 2016? Now, we can clearly see the price, so let's underline this important information. So 2% in 2017 and 3% in 2018. And the ticket cost $2,534 in 2018. It's asking us to work out the price of the ticket in 2016. So because it's increased by 3% here in 2018, so we can say that's 100% at 3, which is 103%. And it costs 2,534 at the moment. So we can say 103% is same as 2,534 pounds. And what we can do is we need to find out what 100% is. So before the increase, so we work out what 1% is. So work out 1%, we need to divide both sides by 103. Divide this side by 103 as well. Let's get the calculator. So that gives us 2,534 divided by 103, and that gives us an answer of 24.6. And then we find 100%, so we times it by 100. So we have to times this by 100 as well. So that gives us 100% here, and then we have times it by 100, and that gives us an answer of 2,460 pounds and 19 pence. 2,416 pounds and 90 pence. Let's double check that digit. 2460. Sorry, not 16. Always be careful when you're writing the digits from your calculator. Obviously, you have to go away from the screen, so making those mistakes. 2460.19. 2460.19. So 2,460 pounds and 90 pence, and that was the price in 2017. Okay, now 2,460 pounds and 90 pence. So let's go back to the question again. So the Roses increased. Tickets increased by 2% in 2017. Now, because it will increase by 2% in 2017, that means it was 102% in 2017. So that will be 2,460 pounds and 19 pence. So that's the price was in 2017. Now it's asking us to find the price what it was in 2016. So that means we need to work out the same way again to find out what was it 100%. So that will give us the price for 2016. So that was the price of 217 from 2018. Now we're finding going to 2016. So we got 2 questions within one. I think that's a really good question actually. Now divide by 102 just like there before. So divide by 102 both sides. So that will give us 1%, and then get the calculator. So 2,460 pounds divided by 102, and that gives an answer of 24 pounds and 11 pence. Sorry. Yep, so that gives us 24 pounds and 12 pence because we round it. So 24 pounds and 12 pence, and then times it by 100 both sides. So that gives us 100%, just like the one before. And then that will give us times it by 100, and that gives us an answer of 2,411 pounds and 76 pence. So 2,411 pounds and 76 pence. Now, according to Maths Genie, there might be slight add or take away few percentages. Now, because I rounded my answer here, possibly I've got a slightly lower answer than it should be. So always double check on your calculator. Is it too much off the actual answer? So the final price of the price of the ticket was in 2016, £2,411 and 76 pence. Question number 22. Again, I covered this topic in my last video, so very important topic for paper 3 for 2019 GCSE Maths exam. The exchange rate in London is £1 equals to $1.31. The exchange rate in New York is $1.79. Bernie wants to change some pounds into dollars. In which of these cities would Bernie get the most dollars? Now you must show your working, and this is worth 3 marks, and without working you won't got any marks. Okay, so let's change them into 1 unit first. So let's start off with London. So in London, we know that £1 is equal to $1.31. Now let's work out what it is in New York, then we can compare it, and then we can find out the price, well, which is the best value. New York, we have $1 is equal to 79 pence. Now what we need to do is we need to change it into £1 because we have £1 in London, so we need to change it into New York's value in £1 as well, so we can compare them because the both units will be the same. Similar to best buy question as well, you might get best buy question as well if you don't get one of these. So divide 0.79 by itself, divided by 0.79, and that will give us 1. Because if you divide anything by itself, it gives us 1, so that's £1. And sorry, I didn't write the dollars here, so that'd be $1, yeah. And then divide a $1. Let's just change these. So divide $1 by 79 pence as well, so 0.79 as well. So divided by 0.79. So dividing both sides by the same number, and let's see what we get. So 1 divided by 0.79, and that gives us an answer of 1.2658. So 1.2658. And because it's money, what we need to do is we need to change it. So £1 is going to be to 2 decimal places, because when you go shop, it always has 2 decimal places. If you go look at the receipts when you buy something, so that's 5 or over. You need to add 1 to this, so $1.27. So $1.27. So £1 is $1.27 in New York. Now we can compare it. Now we can see in New York is £1 is $1.27, and in London £1 is $1.31. So clearly we can see London. So if Bernie goes to London, he will get a better value. So the answer is London. And that's the answer. Question number 21. Olivia is going to invest some money for 5 years. She can choose from 2 options. Investment A, 2.7% of compound interest, that's your keyword, and investment B, 2.8% of simple interest per annum. Which investment should Olivia choose? You must show your working. Again, you have to show all the working, and it's worth 4 marks. So maybe worth quite a bit of working here. Now let's say investment A. So investment A, and excuse me, so it's a compound interest question. So we know that compound interest, we need to find the multiplier first, because it's 2.7% increase added to 100%, that gives us 102.7%. I find the multiply divided by 100, so 102.7 divided by 100, and that will give us an answer of 100 and 2.7 divided by 100. That gives us an answer of 1.027. 1.027. That's the multiplier. And the formula is the original amount times by the multiplier to the power of number of years. Now, we invest the money for 5 years. Which investment should all of you choose? So let's, because it does not give us an original amount, so what could we possibly do? Look at the question. It doesn't have an original amount. What she invests. So where do we start for this? So I would say pick any amount. Pick any amount. Choose £100, £200, £10, £5, and use the same amount for both investment A and investment B, and then you can compare it. So in this case, let's choose, say, £100. So let's say 100 times by the multiplier 1.027 to the power number of years, which is 5, and type that in your calculator and let's see what we get. So 100 times by 1.027 to the power of, that's the power button, to the power of 5. And press the right arrow button and then press equal, and that gives you 114.248. So 114.248, and that's the pounds. And then so that's the amount that she will receive from investment A after 5 years. Now we need to work out what it will be investment B. Now investment B is slightly different because it's a simple interest. Okay, so what we need to do is find out the percentage, which is 2.8%. Simple interest is straightforward, so you do 2.8 times by 5, and that gives us an answer of 2.8 times by 5 gives an answer of 14. So that'd be 14, and all we do is, because we're investing £100 in both cases, because that's the way we can compare it, so 100 times by, and the increase is 14%, find the multiplier, and that gives us 1.14, and then 1.14 times by 100, double check, 1.14 times by 100, that gives us 114, so that'll be 114 pounds. Now clearly we can see investment A is 114 pounds, and let's round that. Need to round it to 2 decimal places because it's money. 114.25, 114 pound 25 pence, and investment B gives us 114 pounds. So clearly we can see investment A gives 25 pence extra. So according to our question, which investment should Olivia choose? She should choose investment A. So she should choose investment A. Write the whole word because investment A. So that was question 21, worth 4 marks. Make sure you show all your working just like we showed here. Next question, we have number 20. And A is the point with coordinates 3, 8, and B is the point with coordinates x and 13. The gradient of AB is 2.5. Work out the value of x. Now we can see got a set of coordinates and one missing coordinate. Don't get alarmed by this type of question because take it easy. And we've got a gradient, so look at what information you have and what can you do with this type of information. Now you might need to dig a bit deeper and think about what do we know about coordinates and gradient. Now we know that gradient is equal to the difference in y divided by difference in x. So y2 minus y1. Let's reduce the ink a little bit because it's taking up too much space. I'm struggling with the space here. And that will do. So we know that gradient is equal to difference in y, so y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So difference in y divided by difference in x. Now we need to put these coordinates into the equation. Before we do that, label x and y coordinates. So let's say this is x1 and this is y1 and this is x2 and this is y2. Now once you label it, you'll know which goes where. and it makes your life a little easier. Otherwise you get too many numbers lurking around in your question and you get mixed up. Okay, so let's put this information in our formula, and we know that gradient is 2.5. So 2.5 is equal to y2 is 13, and I can see my label there, so I can just plug them into my equation. And y1 is 8, and then x2 is x, and x1 is 3. And then we've got an equation, and all we have to do is solve this equation, and that will give us the answer of x, which is the missing value. So let's solve this equation. So we have 2.5. So we can swap them because it's a fraction. We can say take x minus 3 there, so we can take x minus 3 there and bring 2.5 there. So 13 minus 8 is 5. Let's simplify that top bit. That's 5, and x minus 3 goes there, and 2.5 comes down here. So 5 divided by 2.5, let's work this out. 5 divided by 2.5, that gives us 2. So x minus 3 is equal to 2. Now add 3 on both sides, and that will give us x is equal to, these two cancel out, and 3 plus 3 is 5. So x is equal to 5, and that's our answer. That was a good question. Forming and solving using equation and straight line. Also have a look at those equation and straight line in my previous video that I made. The link is in the top in the I button, and you can find that video going through various topics there as well, which are not listed in this predicted paper. Now question number 19, solve the simultaneous equations 2x plus 5y equals 2 and 7x minus 4y equals minus 1. Now we can clearly see that none of the terms are the same, and we cannot cancel anything out. So what we need to do is multiply maybe one of the terms or two of the terms by a different number to make the terms same. Now if I multiply this by, now I cannot make them the same by just by multiplying one of the equations, so I have to multiply, let's choose the x terms, so let's cancel the x terms away. So let's multiply this term by this equation by 7. So I'm going to multiply this equation by the opposite number, which is 2 here, which is the 2, and that will give us the x term same. So 7 times 2 is 14x, 7 times 5y is 35y, and 7 times 2 is 14 equals 14, and 2 times 7 is 14. X minus 4y times by 2 is minus 8y, and then minus 1 times by, try to keep it aligned, so what would happen is you can clearly see what's going on. So that's 8y, and 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. Now you need to decide whether you're going to add or subtract. Now because the x terms are the same and they have the same sign, so we're going to subtract. If it's different sign, then you add. So subtract, so minus 14 minus minus 2. So 14 minus minus 2, the sign changes because 14 minus minus 2, these two negative becomes positive because they're next to each other, and 14 plus 2 gives us 16, so that gives us 16. Be careful with these type of calculations. 14, then 35 minus minus 8, so that gives us 35 minus minus 8, and that gives us an answer of 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. So always double check. So 43, use a calculator if you're not sure. So that gives us 43y, a positive 43y, and 14x take away 14x, they do cancel out. Now divide by 43 by both sides because we've got an equation. 43y equals 16. Divide by 43, and y is equal to 16 divided by 43, 16 over 43. Now what you can do, you can change it into decimal if you want, or leave it as it is. Just in case we need to use that, let's have a look what comes up as decimal. 16 divided by 43, and that gives an answer of, wow, do you know what, I leave it as a fraction because that's too much, so leave it as a fraction. But sometimes it's good to change into decimal, so easy to substitute back into the equation. Now let's substitute this value 16 over 43. Because it's a calculator exam, you can actually type in fractions and then it'll be easier. If it's a non-calculator, that's when it gets a bit messy. So let's substitute to the first equation here. So the first equation we have 2x plus 5y is equal to 2. And I want to substitute the value of y into here. So it'll be 2x plus 5 times 16 over 43 is equal to 2. Let's simplify it first. Let's carry on here. So that will give us 2x, and that will give us, let's go to calculator, so 5 times fraction 16 divided by, press down arrow button, 43, press equal, 80 over 43. So that gives us 80 over 43. 2x is equal to, 2x plus 80 over 43 is equal to 2. Take away 80 over 43 from both sides. So that will give us 2. Take away 80 over 43. So I got 80 over 43 already. So 2 take away answer. Save you some time. 6 over 43. So that gives us 2x is equal to 6 over 43. And then divided by 2 both sides, because with 2x we got divided by 2 both sides. That gives us x is equal to, so we got 6 over 43 in the calculator already, so divided by 2, and that gives us an answer of 3 over 43. So 3 over 43. Okay, so because you got a calculator, it's pretty straightforward. And let's write the answer in the answer section. So x is 3 over 43. Not a straightforward answer, you've got fractions, but don't get alarmed by that. And then y is equal to 16 over 43. And that's worth 3 marks. That was question 19. Let's go to question 18. Find the reciprocal of 8. I like these questions because it's just straightforward. Reciprocal is 1 over 8. Use the calculator. Also look out for the negative reciprocals questions, where you have, for example, just an example here. So 8 minus 1, write it as a fraction, 1 over 8. 4 to the power minus 2, 1 over 4 squared, which is 1 over 16. You could also get this type of question as well in addition to those. Question B, use your calculator to work out 2 cos 40 plus 3 sine 25 to the power of 3. So use your calculator. So let's clear the calculator memory and let's write the brackets. We got 2 cos 40 plus 3 sine 25, and close it. Now I'm a bit worried here because we have brackets in there as well. So we might need to clear it and just close those brackets, because those might cause a problem, because it's saying 3 plus 40 plus 3 sine 25. So let's clear it. So let's type it again. So we've got brackets 2 cos 40, close the bracket, and then plus 3 sine 25, close the bracket, and close it again because you got double brackets here. So you got brackets for the degrees in the calculator and the brackets for the start of the question, and then press x to the power of 3 and press the right arrow button and then press equal, and that gives us an answer of 21.950 21.950, because it says write down all the figures on your calculator display, so write down everything. 950 67518. So 67518. Always double check that you got the correct digits, and then that will be your answer. So 21.950 6751. Ooh, it's 518, not 9. 518. Okay, so that was question 18. Pretty straightforward. Question 19. Frequency table shows the time taken for 100 people to travel to an event. So you got the class intervals, you've got the frequency given here. Find the percentage of people travel for more than 30 minutes to the event. So for more than 30 minutes to the event, so we go look at the more than 30 minutes. So this is less than, so we got 10, this is 0 to 10, so this is not more than 30. And then this is 10 to 20, it is not more than 30. Because it's more than 30 minutes, it has to be more than 30 minutes. So this is equal to or less than 30 minutes. Because we want more than 30 minutes, we need to look at here. So this is equal to or less than, so this is more than 30 minutes, so we can see 30 and t. So t is greater than 30, so we can look at here. So this is 29 people, and then we have the rest are obviously more than 30, like as we can see. T is bigger than 40, t is bigger than 50, so they're all applicable answers, and we can add them together. So we've got 12 people and we've got 6 people. So altogether we have 29 plus 12 plus 6, and that gives us an answer of 47. So 47 people. So the 47%, because this is answered. Okay, now because it's 47 people frequency, let's have a look how we convert into percentage. Because it is out of 100 people, we can say 47 out of 100. So that would give us 47% as well, because 47 out of 100. Now if it was any other number, say for example if it was 47 out of 50, then you had to times it by 2, and then work out the percentage. So because it's out of 100 already, so we don't need to change anything, just like the answer is 40%, 47%. Draw a frequency polygon for the information on the table. Now to draw a frequency polygon, we need to find the midpoints of these numbers. So let's write down the midpoints. We got 5, got 15, got 25 here, 30 and 40 we got 35, 40 and 50 we have 45, and then we have 55. Be careful, sometimes they have class intervals a gap of 20 or 10 or 15, so double check. They're all between a gap of 10. So we've got the midpoints and we've got the frequency. So this is our frequency y-axis, and we got time on our x-axis. All you have to do is plot those points. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. Because I won't be able to show you in the screen otherwise. I know it's a bit small. So all you have to do is look at the midpoint of time and frequency. So you've got time, so you've got 5, so 5 is between 0 and 10, and then the frequency is 14, so you've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's put a little cross here. On this screen I'm finding it difficult to plot that, but you're going to use a pencil and ruler obviously to draw the frequency polygon. 10 and 20 is 15, and frequency is 16, so that's 15 between 10 and 20, and that's 16, so that's 15, and that's 16 round about here. I know it's not exactly on the point. I'll zoom in, maybe that'll be easier, so let's get rid of that. So that's 16, so 15 and 16, this point here. You're just thinking you won't be able to zoom in your exam paper, so you might need to look closely. And then we have 25 is 23, so 25 is 23, so 25 is 23. 1, 2, 3. Go open ones, double check if they're going open ones or not. And then we have 30 and 40 is 35, 29. So we have 35 and 29. So that gives us just below 30. And next one is 45 and 12. So we have 45 and 10, 12 here. And then finally 55 and 6. So 55 and 6, so go 5 midway and 6. Now use a ruler to connect the points and a straight line, because it's a frequency and polygon, which is a polygon shape. So connect the points with a ruler. I'm not using a ruler, so make sure you use a ruler. Connect the points. Not bad actually, freehand straight lines. Okay, I'm sure you can do better than this, but using a ruler. Okay. That was a question number 17. Let's go to question number 16. Oh, Venn diagrams, one of my favorite questions. Now, this is universal set. So we got a universal set. Even numbers between 1 and 3. A is 2, 4, 8, 14, 18, 22, and 28. B is 8, 10, 16, 18, and 22, and 30. Complete the Venn diagram to present this information. So let's label the circles first. This is circle A, circle B. We need to label, put the numbers in now. So universal even numbers between 1 and 31. So these are all even numbers between 1 and 31 here. And A is 2, 4, 8, 14, 18, 22, and 28. Now, we need to find out what do they have in common first. Okay, so we can see A has an 8 and B has an 8. So let's write down this first. So start off from the middle. It'll be easier to write down whatever's left over, otherwise you'll be looking out for numbers and wasting time in your exam. Are there any other common numbers that between the two? So we have 18 here and 18 here. So let's circle them so we know we've used them, so we don't repeat them in A and B. And then you can see there's a 22 here and a 22 here. So 22, 22, and 28 and 30. There's nothing else common. Now, whatever's left over, write down in the A. So A numbers 2, 4, 14. So we've got 2, 4, 14, and we got 28. And for B, we have 10, 16, 10, 16, and then 30. Now, are these all the numbers for the universal set? Are we missing something? Yes, of course we are, because the numbers are between 1 and 31, all the even numbers between 1 and 31. And how many even numbers are between 1 and 31? Just count. And we can clearly see there are some missing. So the missing ones need to go outside. So the missing even numbers from this this diagram are, so we don't have a 6 between A and B. So you have a 6 missing, which is an even number. We don't have a 12 there. So 12. We don't have a 20. We don't have a 24. We don't have a 26 either, so that's 26. And just double check that you got all the numbers there between 1 and 31, all the even numbers. That's worth 4 marks. Number chosen at random from the universal set. What is the probability that the number is in the set A union B? So set A union B, so that means everything A and everything B. So how many numbers we have in A and B? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10. Out of how many? Out of how many do we have all together? So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of the 15 numbers. So the probability that the number in set A union B is 10 over 15. You can simplify it if you want, which gives you 2 over 3. I'll show you a quick trick on the calculator how to simplify fractions. Type the fraction button in and then write 10, down arrow button, 15, right arrow, and press equal, and that will, the calculator will simplify the fraction for you, which is 2/3. So that would be 2/3. And that's it, that's the answer for this one. Number 15, make n the subject of m equals n squared minus 3. So we have equation m equals n squared plus 3, and we're making n the subject. So we need to isolate n. So before that, we need to take away 3 from both sides. So m minus 3 is equal to n squared. Now we got n squares, which is square root both sides to get rid of the square. So be square root of m minus 3 is equal to n. And that's the answer. So n is equal to m minus 3 and square root of m minus 3. Simplify 5m squared times by 3m to the power of 4. So like terms, 5 and 3 is 15. And m squared times by m to the power of 4. We add the powers we multiply. So that would be 4 out of 2 is 6, so m to the power of 6. Next one, expanding and simplifying double brackets, x plus 3 times by x minus 5. Now because it's got a negative involved, I know some people use the lines and it's very easy to do that, but sometimes you make the mistake of signs, and sometimes people are not sure what sign goes in your answer. So I'll always suggest that you use the grid. You're multiplying, so x plus 3, so write x plus 3. You're more than welcome to use your own method. These are just a method I find it easier and helps you avoid mistakes. And we've got x minus 5 there. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is plus 3x. Now the key is you need to write the signs in front of them. and that will help you write down the answer. Minus 5 times x is minus 5x, and minus 5 times by plus 3 is, because negative times by positive is minus negative, minus 5 times plus 3 is minus 15. Write out the answer, so that gives us x squared, everything in here, plus 3x, minus 5x, and minus 15. Let's simplify it now. So it'll be x squared, there's no other terms with x squared, minus 3x and plus 3x minus 5x. We've got 3x, we've taken away 5x. If you're not sure, use the number line or use a calculator. It's even better. So 3 take away 5 gives us minus 2, so that'll be minus 2x. Make use of the calculator, that's what it's there for. And minus 15, there's no other like term with just a number. So the answer is x squared minus 2x minus 15, and that's 2 easy marks. Next question, number 14, and it's worth 3 marks. So a circle is enclosed by a square as shown in the diagram. So each side of the square measures 8 centimeters. So let's write down the measurements and it's easier to see. So each side of the square is 8 centimeters. Find the area of the shaded region. Give your answer the correct one decimal place. Now because each side is 8 centimeters, so that means this length here is 8 centimeters as well. Now find the area of the shaded region. So that's the shaded region we have here. Now, in order to find the shaded region, you need to find the area of the square first. So let's find the area of the square. So area of square is, the square area is 8 times 8, which is 64 centimeters squared. Now, let's find the area of the circle, and we take away from the area of the square. So that will give us the area of the shaded region. So because we know this is 8, because that's the same length of the square, we can half it, and that will give us the radius, which is 4 centimeters. Because we need to use the radius, pi r squared. So that's 4 centimeters. So area of circle, so circle area is going to be pi times by radius squared. If you're not sure about the formula, write down the formula here nice and big so you can remember it. So pi times radius squared, which is 4 squared, and type in your calculator. Shift and then the pi button here, times by 4 squared, and that gives an answer of 50.26, 16 pi or 50.26, 50.26. Write down a few more digits, maybe 2 more, 2654, 2654. Now take away from 64 because we're only interested in the shaded region. So 64, make sure you show all this working, 50.2654, and that gives us 64, take away 50.264, 2654, that equals to 13.73, 13.73, and then round it to 1 decimal place, so that would be 13.7, so it equals 13.7 centimeters squared, and that's our answer. Question number 13. 60 students study a language at school. Each student either studies French or German. 36 of the students are boys. 2/3 of the boys study French. 40. Let's get rid of that. 40 students study French, and then we have used this information to complete. So I'm just going to double check if that's recording because don't want to do the whole video and later on find out that it didn't record, then it'll be a waste of time. Okay, anyway, it's recording, that's good. So 60 students study a language at a school. So we know 60 students altogether study a language at a school. Each student either studies French or German. And when you get a question like this, always write down the information that you have and then work out the missing information. So we have 60 students altogether. That's on there. 36 of the students are boys. So we got girls and boys. So we know that 36 of the students are boys. 2/3 of the boys study French. So 36. So 2/3 of 36. Let's write it next to the question so we know we got on there here. So 2/3 of the boys, which is 36 boys, study French. So that will be 3 goes into 36. 12 times 2 is 24 boys study French. So 24 boys study French. So we got this information. 40 students study French. Okay, now we got all the information. Now because we know how many boys and girls, so let's leave that till later. Now because of 40, we have 60 altogether, and then 36 boys. That means we need to find out the girls is going to be 60 take away 36, and that will give us the number of girls. So 60 take away 36 gives us the number of girls, which is 24. So that would be 24 girls. And then we have, out of the 36 boys, 24 study French. That means 36 take away 24. And I'm using calculator for everything because I just want to make sure that everything's right. 36 minus 24, 12. So 12 study German, 12 boys study German. Now out of the girls, there are 24 girls. And then if 40 study French altogether, that means 24 of them are boys. So we need to do 40 take away the 24 boys who study French. That gives us with 16 of the girls study French, and 24 take away 16. So we 24. That will give us. Sorry, I'm going to go back to that. 36 take away 24 gives us 12. And then we had 40 students who study French altogether, and out of them, 24 of them are boys, and that leaves us with 16 study French. And then finally 24 take away 16. So 24 take away 16 is equal to 8. So that would be 8. So 8 girls study German, and that's it. Now this working I showed you for your understanding. Where did I get these numbers from? So to help you understand, but make sure you write down these numbers correctly and double check there whether these two add up to this, these two add up to 36, and then whether these two add up to 60, and that your checking answer. So when you're waiting after your exam, you finish, always do check your answers. It's good practice. Next one, Amy, Harry and Emily all say part of their salary each month. Amy saves 2/15 of her salary, the amount Harry saves to the amount he spends in the ratio 1:6. Emily spends 86% of her salary. Show that Harry saves the largest proportion of salary. Now let's find out how much Amy saves. Amy saves 2/15, and Harry says the amount Harry saves to the amount to spend is 1:6. So he saves 1 and spends 6. He spends 86% of his salary. Harry saves the largest proportion. So I need to find out how much they save in percentage. So Amy saves 2/15 times by 100. That would give us 2/15 times by del, press the right arrow button, and then times by 100. That gives us an answer of 13.3%. So 13.3%. And Harry says is going to be, because it's a 1/6, he says 1 part out of, because 1 add 6 is 7, so 7 parts altogether, and he says 1 out of the 7 parts. So says, so 1 out of 7, do the same thing for him as well as Amy, find percentage. So again, press the fraction button, you can do 1 divided by 7 and then times it by 100. I just want to show you on the calculator the exact calculation that we're doing here. And then times it by 100. And that gives an answer of 14.28. 14.2857. 14.2857. Okay, and percent. Now let's have a look what's going on here. So it says show that Harry saves the largest proportion of his salary. So Emily saves around about 14%, and then we showed that. Okay. Emily saves 14%. Next, Lily says that this means Harry saves the most money each month. Now, where did we get Emily saves 14%? Because Emily spends 86%. So it'll be 100, take away 86%, and that gives us 14%. So Emily saves 14%. And we showed that Harry saves the largest proportion because Harry's percentage is the highest, which is 14.28, Emily's 14, and Amy's 13. So we know that Harry saves the most percentage. So we showed that calculation. And next question, Lily says this means Harry saves the most money each month. Now, by the way, if you're still watching this video, please do not forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget that my requested to subscribe, so that I can hit my 1,000 subscribers before my student. So don't forget that, keep that in mind as well, please. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do press the subscribe button right now. Now, Lily says this means Harry saves the most money each month. Give a reason to say whether Lily is or is not correct. The total for this question is 3 marks. Now, we give a reason to say that Lily is or not correct. Okay, so we need to find out whether Lily is right or wrong. Now, with this type of question, we don't always confusing, because students find them confusing, whether to write, what to write. Give a reason to say whether Lily is or is not correct. Now, we do not know how much money they have. Okay, we only have a percentage. Okay, now any of them can have different percentage, but then again, depending on the amount what they save, and the answer could be different. So for that reason, Lily could be wrong if they have different amounts. Say for example, Harry has £100 and Emily has 1,000 and Amy has 2,000. That means Harry doesn't save as much as the others. So because it says most money, it doesn't say most percentage. So therefore, we do not know how much amount they save. So I'm not going to write this down, waste my time, so you can listen to this answer. Because we don't know the amount that they are saving, so in that case, Lily would be wrong. But if it was only to do with percentage, Lily could be right. Because this is money, so therefore, Lily cannot be right. Next question, 11, almost there, guys. Here are 3 cards. Each card has a number on it, 7, 2, and 8. Write down all the possible 3-digit numbers that can be made using these 3 cards. And so that will be all the possible digits. So 7, 2, 8. Start with that number. Then we have 7, 8, 2. And then we have 2, 7, 8. Then we have 2, 8, 7. And then we have 872, 872, and then we have 827. Now what I've done is I started with the number and then found all the different combinations starting with that number, and then moved to the next one, and then moved to the next one. In that way, it's very easy to write these numbers down and not miss out any in the process. Which is greater, 25% of 90 or 28% of 82? So you need to show your working. Now in order to show the working, what you can do is multiply 25% by 90. So the multiplier is 0.25 times by 90. So that's your working. So that's the answer, will be the working. So that will give us, now in order to find percentage, what you can do is use the percentage button in your calculator. So 90 times by, because it's 25%, will be 25, and then you got the percentage button here, so you have to press shift and the answer button. That'll give you percentage, and press equal, and that gives us 22.5, so 22.5. And the next one, you can either do multiplier or 28%, so 0.28 times by 82. So again, go to the calculator and type in the amount. So it'll be 82 times by 28%, 28 shift, and the percentage, and press equal. That gives us an answer of £22.96. So 22.96, not pounds, so 22.96. So we can see 28% of 82, so 28% of 82 is greater. Number 9, the ratio 15 to 35 in its simplest form. So 15 to 35, and then the highest common factor is going to be 5, so divided by 5 both sides. So that'll be divided by 5, zoom in a little bit, divided by 5, that gives us 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. There are red shapes and blue shapes in a box. 2/3 of the shapes are red. Write the ratio of red shapes to the blue shapes. So 2/3 the shapes are red, and the blue shapes, that's going to be, because the 2/3 are red, so it'll be 1/3 left which are blue, so 2/3 to 1/3. Now because the denominator is the same, now we can write down the ratio is 2 to 1. So red shape to blue shape is 2 to 1. Next is the function machine question. Here is a number machine. Input is 4 times 4 and add 7. What is the output? Find the output when input is 5. So do 5, input 5 times 4, which is 20, add 7, which is 27. So the answer is 27 for the first one. Find the output when the input is -3. So be careful, we've got negative. So output input is -3 times by 4, which is -12. Not sure, use a calculator. And then add 7. So -12 add 7 is -5. Use a calculator if you're not sure. -5. Find the input when the output is 71. Now it's slightly bigger number, so what I'm going to do is write down the calculation first. So 71 minus 7, because we're doing the opposite way. We've got output going to go to the input, so we're going to do the opposite. We're adding 7, we're going to do -7, and that will give an answer of 64. And because it's times by 4, we're going to divide by 4. So 64 divided by 4, which is 16. So the answer will be 16. Next question, number 7. Poppy wants to buy as many chocolate bars as she can. She has £5 note to spend on chocolate bars. Each chocolate bars cost 42p, 42 pence. Work out how much change Poppy will get from £5. Now, because it's all in pence, what we can do is we can change them into £5 into pence and then work it that way. That sounds easier. And then let's say Poppy wants to buy as many chocolate bars as she can. £5 spent. Chocolate bars cost 42 pence. How much change Poppy will get? So it'll be 500 pence. So £5 would be 500 pence. So it'll be 500 divided by 42p each. And she can buy 11.904 is, so 500 divided by 42 is 11.9, yes, 904. And now because we cannot buy 90.904 with chocolate, we need to round it down to 11 because we don't have enough money to buy any extra. So it'll be 11. So it'll be 11 choc bars. And then 11 times by 42 pence. So it'll be 11 times by 42. That gives us 11 times by 42. 462 pence. And how much change will she get? So we had 500 pence to start off with. So it'll be 500 take away 62, not 26, because on my calculator I've got 462. And just change that, 462. So 500 take away 462, that gives us 38 pence. So the change you will get is 38 pence. And that's worth 3 marks. So make sure you show all the working step by step. A shape made from triangle and rectangle, and work out the total area of the shape. So first of all, you get a question like this, always work out the easier shape. So 12 times 8, which is this rectangle here, and then that'll give us 12 times 8, which is 96 centimeters squared. I always check the units are in the same unit, so you don't need to change anything. And next, I think I covered this question in one of my previous revision videos, so please do check it out if you're not sure. In detail. And triangle area is going to be, so we need to work out what the triangle area is. Before we do that, we need to work out the length and height, the base and height of the triangle, because we know the triangle area is base times height divided by 2. So we don't have a base, we don't have a height, so we need to work those out. So we 13 take away 8, because vertical take away vertical height. So 13 take away 8 gives us 5, so the height is 5 centimeters. The triangle, work out the base, so be 12 take away 8, so it's horizontal length take away horizontal. Up to here is 12, but up to here is 8, so the rest is 12 take away 8, which is 12 take away 8, which is 4. So your base is 4 centimeters. Now all we have to do is times by base times height. So base is 4 times by height is 5 divided by 2. That will give us 20 divided by 2 is 10 centimeters squared. And then add them together. That will give us an answer of 106 centimeters squared. And that's our answer. So 106 centimeters squared. Next, change 3.5 meters into centimeters. So make sure you learn the units changeover. So 3.5 into centimeters. So we know there's 100 centimeters in a meter, and that will give us an answer of 350. If you're not sure, use a calculator, because I know a lot of people make this silly mistakes and they lose marks. So 3.5 times by 100 is 350, and that's right, 350 centimeters. And always write your answer in the answer section. And also another tip for you is we'll show the working step by step in order, so the examiner finds it easier to mark. The last thing you want, a writing answer all over the place. Some people write answers here, answers here, answers here, answers here, and the answer here, working here, and that makes it so hard to mark the paper. So you don't want to make the examiner's life difficult by doing this. One night the temperature in Paris was minus 6 degrees Celsius. The temperature in Moscow was 4 degrees Celsius, less than the temperature in Paris. What was the temperature in Moscow? So when Paris was minus 6, temperature in Moscow was 4 degrees less than the temperature in Paris. So that would be less than 4 degrees less than the Paris. That means what was the temperature in Moscow? So minus 6 and minus 4. Not sure. Type in your calculator. Minus 6 minus 4. That gives an answer of minus 10. So minus 10 degrees Celsius. So minus 10 degrees Celsius. Work out 10% of 95. 1 mark. Use your calculator. That's why it's here for. So 95. So let's write the calculation. Don't need to, but I'm just writing. Times by 10%. Type this in your calculator. So 95 times by 10, shift percentage. That gives an answer of 9.5. So £9 and 50 pence. So 9.50. So £9 and 50 pence. Write your decimals clearly. Work out 1/7 of 84. So divided by the denominator times by the numerator. So 84 divided by 7. Almost there, guys, almost there. Can't wait to have a cup of tea. 84. Do you like tea or coffee? Comment in the comment section below. Let me know what's your favorite drink, or is it iced tea? Fancy. Or is it lemonade? Love lemonade on a hot day. The sun's coming out as well, so can't wait to go into my garden, sit there for a bit and have a break. Yeah, you guys will make sure you take a break as well after this paper, because it's quite a long paper. So 84 divided by 7 is 12, and the answer is 12. But 12 times 1, always make sure if there's not 1, then make sure you times by the numerator. So times by numerator, which is 12, so be 12. So follow the process. Divide by the denominator times by the numerator. Are you liking this video? Why not give it a like, and also don't forget to subscribe and help me reach that 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost coming to the end of the paper. And if you think that helped you, this paper, then please do hit that subscribe button, and I'm hoping to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of tomorrow. Okay, so let's do the last question, guys. I made it right. 6,461 correct to nearest 100. So nearest 100 is units, so you got, zoom in a little bit, so units, tenths and hundreds. So nearest 100, so then we're going to round this number, because 5 rows, to add 1 to this one, so that gives us 6, 5, and the rest of digits, just like similar to rounded significance. So 6,500. 6,500 is the answer. Okay, that's it guys, we made it. Like I said before, if you want to have a look at the paper, it's in the description below. It's from the Maths Genie, so thank you very much to Maths Genie who actually put in the time and effort to create these papers. I made a video prior to that before. Check out the link in the description and the top right hand side corner, and also don't forget to check out the video of my student that I made. He's challenging me that I cannot get 1,000 subscribers before him. Well, you guys can prove him wrong and get me that 1,000 subscribers, guys. Well done for completing the paper, Mr. Mahmud, and I wish you all the best, guys, and good luck with your exam, and I hope it goes really well. And I really enjoyed doing these videos for the GCSE cohort 2019, and those GCSE maths papers were really well prepared by Maths Genie. So thank you, a big thank you to Maths Genie. Okay, so thank you guys, see you in the next video. Mr. Mahmud, helping you do better in maths. And also don't forget to share this video with your friends as well, so that they can benefit from it. Thank you, bye bye.